So we're doing something a little unique and a little bit different than what we might typically do. This log I'm standing up here is actually a maple log, and we carve a lot of pine logs. And so we have a couple different types of maple here in New Hampshire. We have rock maple, and that's the maple that sugar maple it's known as. Maple syrup comes from that tree. And it's true to its name. It's definitely a hard wood. Sugar maple, rock maple. And I typically don't work with that wood because it is hard as a rock. This is a piece of soft maple here. And even though it's called soft maple, it's not necessarily soft. It's still a very hard wood. It's just not as hard as the hard maple. So it is manageable to work with the chainsaws. And I will say that this piece of wood has just got unbelievable grain. Wait until you guys start to see the wood and the grain pop out when the finish is applied. And right here I'm undercutting the mushroom cap. So I'm establishing basically where the bottom of the mushroom is. And as you know, it's going to be a lamp and a lampshade. So the whole thing's going to be hollowed out. So I'm getting ready to begin drawing on where the stem goes on the underside of the mushroom cap. And you can see I start to draw the lines in with my chainsaw and establish where the stem is. And I end up hitting like a pocket of rot. And it's like a cavity within the tree. And so here I am establishing the lines, and now I'm hollowing that rod out. And you're going to get to see me reestablish new lines for the stem. Here I am just completely drawing in new lines to try and avoid that pocket of rot. Sometimes the wood itself or the log actually dictates the shape of the carving and what happens and what comes out when you're working around things like rot. And there's other factors that come into play as well. So we've leaned the carving over, and I'm beginning to hollow out the underside of the mushroom. And I think you guys know by now that it's actually going to be a lamp. So the cap on the mushroom is actually going to be a lamp shade. And as such, it needs to be hollowed out. It's actually a fair bit of work hollowing the underside of the mushroom cap out. And you'll see when we get a little bit further along that I'll employ different techniques and different tools. I actually had a specific tool designed at a machine shop. It's basically a long gouge, or a gouge with a long handle. And it's going to enable me to get up underneath the lampshade a little bit further than what I can get with my chainsaw. Here I'm just lifting the mushroom up into the air a little bit, and all that's doing is changing the angle so that I can hollow out the underside of the mushroom cap a little easier. You can see I'm still crouched down here and kneeling, but it does change the angle just enough so that it makes it a little easier to work on. I'm using a long drill bit here. I think it's an 1.5 inch diameter drill bit. But basically what I'm doing is cutting a hole from the underside of the lampshade clear through to the top of the lamp. And what that does is allow any heat to escape. You can see the hole coming through here. And light bulbs will build up heat, so this hole will allow any sort of heat buildup to escape and vent up through the top of the lampshade. And here I'm not drilling holes all the way through, but I'm just kind of making relief cuts, trying to get out as much material as I can. And this is the tool I spoke of. It's a long gouge. I had it designed at a machine shop and built specifically for this purpose. And basically it's tough to get the chainsaw that far up in there and do all the hollowing that needs to be done. So this is a real time-consuming, work-intensive, I guess labor-intensive kind of a process with the gouge, but it's a necessity. I'm getting ready to install the wire for the lamp, and so this nice long drill bit makes that process a little bit easier. And basically I'm going from hole to hole, so when the drill bit pops through, I'm going to drill in through that same exact hole, only I'm going to angle up a little bit further towards the top of the lamp. Hopefully you guys will see what I mean when we start running the wire through. You'll get a better visual. I'm just mixing up a little bit of epoxy, and this is going to be a wood filler for the holes that we just drilled. Here I'm adding a little bit of sanding sawdust in with the epoxy, just so it kind of matches the color of the maple wood. I'm going to talk a little bit about what this lamp is actually intended for, and basically it's a gift for my wife for our anniversary. And as the project began to unfold, let me just say that Casey's never asked for a carving before. I have given her a few carvings, but she's never actually asked for one. And she liked this lamp so much that she actually asked if she could have it. So long story short, I think it makes a great anniversary present. And as the project begins to unfold, you're gonna start to see just the unbelievable beauty and the grain of this piece of wood. And I will say that I'm blessed with the most amazing wife, and it's just a great privilege and honor to be able to not only just give her something handmade with my own hands, but even that she enjoys stuff made with my hand. I will say that I spent a lot of time in prayer about my wife, and so this is a blessing from the Lord. And you guys can take that for what it's worth. But when you seek the Lord for the most important things in life, and then you wait on Him, I believe that He blesses us greatly. So I have to give credit where it's due. And here I'm just going to post a picture real quick of Casey and I when we first got together. This is a piece of black iron pipe. You can get this right at the local hardware store. It's very inexpensive, but it's known as a black iron nipple. And as you can see, I'm just putting the wiring through it, and it's actually going to support the light bulb. So I've added just a black iron 90 onto the end of the nipple, and I'm just pounding it into the tree here.